All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we're unpacking the massive world building and those incredibly high-stakes lit RPG mechanics in Book 7, Avanta.C. This is a story that just brilliantly mashes up gritty, dystopian sci-fi with vibrant, stats-driven fantasy. Now, if you've been following the lore up to this point, you know we are at an absolutely critical turning point for our main protagonist, Lucky. We're going to break down exactly how he goes from a desperate fugitive to a powerful player caught in the middle of a massive digital war.
Think of our agenda today as your personal quest log. First, we've got Escape to the Virtual World, followed by Exploring Avanta.C. Then, we hit the grind and upgrades, face the metal mafia threat, uncover the Nova Spetsnaz secret, and finally, brave the glitch world trap.
Starting off with Section 1, Escape to the Virtual World, where we leave the dystopian EMPRIE in the dust.
So, getting into this game, it's not just throwing on a VR headset in your living room. No, this is a grueling, real-world 4-day gauntlet. Day 1 is all about dodging those ruthless EMPRIE patrols on Earth. By day 2, Lucky is quite literally putting his life in the hands of the Bluebird bounty hunter to get smuggled through a treacherous asteroid field. This gets him to day 3, landing at the Ikarus refugee camp, which is essentially the Ellison Island for Earth's refugees. It's teeming with makeshift habitats, total desperation, and some incredibly dangerous black markets.
And it's right there, in the shady corners of that Ikarus black market on day 4, that the Bluebird bounty hunter hands Lucky a contraband data crystal. He's risking digital viruses, hacking, and full-on Imperial detection just to spawn into a completely new existence. I mean, imagine leaving your physical body behind entirely, trusting a black market smuggler just for a shot at a better life. This isn't just a game for Lucky, it is literal survival.
Moving right along to Section 2, Exploring Avanta.C. This is where we hit that massive, totally unpredictable virtual landscape.
The second he logs in, Lucky is just overwhelmed by towering spires and shimmering waterfalls. He quickly groups up with Astra, this mysterious mage who promises to help him navigate the new reality. And the sheer scale of Avanta.C is wild. It's intentionally chaotic. In a flash, you go from a Renaissance fair where these legendary glowing-eyed cats are literally granting wishes, over to the interconnected islands of Troll City, where everyone is hoarding shiny loot under the Troll King. Then you've got the ancient magic of Fairy City up in the treetops, and eventually, they even uncover the game's dark web, the Illegal Furry Server. It's a hidden, totally anarchic corner for eccentric avatars. It really sets the stage that this world is absolutely boundless, but to survive it, you need power.
Which brings us to Section 3, the grind and upgrades. Time to level up and actually master these game mechanics.
Because, let's be real, you absolutely cannot survive an MMO without a serious grind. Realizing they're way too low level to join a guild and earn the gold for premium Halo bodies, Lucky and Astra hit the Lost Temple. We're talking giant spiders, undead warriors, the whole 9 yards. And this is where the lit RPG mechanics take center stage. Lucky starts at a meager level 5 with 120 HP, but through pure grinding, he bumps his level up to 7, his HP to 150, and his strength to 15. Astra starts out slightly stronger at level 6 and pushes her own stats up to level 8 with 180 HP and 18 strength. This progression is the absolute lifeblood of a genre, transforming a vulnerable newbie into a measurable threat.
But here's the kicker. Raw stats aren't going to cut it alone. What really gives him an edge is figuring out the game's hidden console commands. By physically pulling up the interface and typing out commands like /combine sword shield, the story beautifully crosses lit RPG mechanics with real-world coding logic. It lets them take basic, everyday inventory drops and craft incredibly overpowered gear, like the Dragon Slayer armor, which gives massive strength bonuses.
And it's not just about swords and shields. They stumble upon the glowing branches of the magic tree, which offers 3 totally distinct crafting paths: elemental, illusionary, or divine. Astra uses the illusionary path to craft shadowy illusions and smoke bombs. Lucky goes the opposite route, building out elemental fireballs and divine protective spells, like holy healing. They're optimizing their party dynamics perfectly, which is good because they are about to face threats way bigger than some low-level temple spiders.
All right, Section 4, the Metal Mafia threat. This is where we enter the boss fight and a seriously tangled web of betrayal.
Things take a dark turn here. They party up with this slick, mysterious merchant named Kyle. They grab a quest off the mission board to investigate a lost expedition up in the northern mountains near the ancient ruins of Eldrador. But it begs a massive question. Is Kyle a trustworthy ally, Or is he a spy setting them up? Well, they play it cool, pretending to trust him. But right as they're fighting off these aggressive wolves and grab a powerful artifact called the Eldridian Amulet, the ruins suddenly shift. Boom! They're locked inside Eldridian's maze. It's a total trap.
And guess who's waiting in the shadows? Edge Danger Man himself. The leader of the ruthless metal mafia guilds completely corners them with his masked mercenaries. He casually reveals he's been tracking their progress this whole time, just waiting for the maze to wear them down. Suddenly, we aren't on a fun fantasy quest anymore. This is a desperate, bloody fight for digital survival against the absolute most dangerous players on the server.
That leads us right into Section 5, the Nova Spetsnaz Secret, the hidden war for human consciousness. Guys, this is where the plot just completely flips on its head. Right when it looks like Edge Dangerman has them beat, Kyle drops a bombshell. He actually isn't working for the Metal Mafia. It turns out the Metal Mafia aren't just a bunch of high-level griefers, they are a real-world syndicate literally enslaving human consciousness to harvest resources. Kyle and his squad, they're the Nova Spetsnaz, an elite guild of Russian hackers who are physically trapped back on Earth in robot bodies. They're using Avanta.C as a backdoor to free their real-world selves. This totally reframes everything. We just went from a standard MMO guild rivalry to a high-stakes proxy war with terrifying real-world consequences.
So Kale goes for broke. He attempts this incredibly daring infiltration to turn the tide. While Lucky and Astra distract Edge's guild, Kale uses his clearance to breach the highly secure Avanta.C server room on the Metal Mafia mothership. He's dodging digital laser grids, slipping past advanced robotic guards, all to reach the teleportation device. The plan? Beam his entire hacker team directly onto the mothership and take the Metal Mafia down from the inside out. And that brings us to our final act, Section 6, the Glitch World Trap. A botched teleportation, and a whole new kind of prison.
Well, spoiler alert, things do not go as planned. It turns out Edge was one step ahead, and the teleportation matrix was rigged all along. When Kale hits the switch, he and Lucky aren't beamed to the mothership. They're transported to somewhere else entirely. And this shows us the true consequence of losing in this game. Your consciousness isn't just deleted, it's locked in a digital cage. They end up in the Glitch World, a custom-built, false reality designed specifically to brainwash and break the minds of the Metal Mafia's greatest enemies.
When Lucky and Kyle actually materialize, it looks strangely familiar. It looks exactly like our Earth, before all the devastations. People are just walking around, totally normal, but it's a terrifying facade. If you look closer, the streets are being patrolled by Metal Mafia robots, and the civilians are actually glitching, brainwashed inmates. And because this false reality runs on flawed code, these inmates have actually started developing bizarre, broken glitch powers. Talk about an absolutely massive cliffhanger to end Book 7, right? It leaves us with this burning question. Can Lucky, completely stripped of his hard-earned LRPG stats and trapped in this fake digital past, master his new glitch powers to break out? Or is it officially game over for his digital soul? It is a phenomenal setup for Book 8, Digital Soul Suicider. I, for one, cannot wait to see how these corrupted mechanics play out. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and hey, keep your stats high out there.